Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. Let's talk Rolex pre-ceramic GMT bezel inserts. That's one of the best things about the 5-digit GMTs, those beautiful aluminum inserts. But here's the problem. When you're buying a pre-owned piece, you might be getting an original insert, original to the piece. You might be getting an authentic Rolex insert, but not the insert the piece was born with, or you might be getting a third-party insert, i.e. your GMT pre-ceramic is a Franken watch. Alright, this is a custom video for Mark, and he's got a couple of beautiful 5-digit pre-ceramic steel professional Rolex watches. In fact, he's got a pretty extensive collection, but we're really just going to focus on those two watches in this video. He writes, "Hi Austin, I'm in the US and I love your channel and really appreciate your great neo-vintage Rolex knowledge. I'm hoping you can take a look at two of my pieces. Number one, a Rolex GMT Master 2 16710. Number two, a Rolex Submariner 14060. For some background, both are T serial numbers. Holes cases, hollow end links, and tritium. The combo I wanted, and were purchased in 2019 from reputable brick and mortar dealers." All right, so a couple of T serials, and my 14060 is also a T serial. T serials are from 1996, so both these watches from that year of 1996. I purchased the GMT for $10,500 USD with original box but no papers. I paid a little more to find an unpolished tritium piece with an original dial and hands, so the papers took a back seat. The indices and hands have a beautiful creamy patina, and that's the best part of tritium. It patinas beautifully. The no date sub was purchased for $7,000 USD with original box and papers. Also with tritium dial and hands, and a two-liner was a must. Only the pip has patinaed so far. It's had a light polish, but it's not bad and doesn't bother me, especially since my other goals were met. I've been wondering since I saw your other videos on bezel inserts, and I'll try to find those videos and put links in the description of this video. What are your thoughts of mine? I feel that the inserts are original, but I'd like your opinion. Can you please do a review of the inserts and tell me what you think, Mark? All right, let's start out with the Submariner, the 14060, and beautiful piece, box papers, great price, $7,000 USD. Now, looking at the insert, this looks to me to be an original insert. Why do I say that? Look at the 4 in 40. That is a flat or fat 4. And the original bezel inserts, I know mine did, had a flat or fat 4. The replacement inserts, service inserts, authentic yet the watch wasn't born with them, tended to have the, I guess, non-fat 4 or flat 4, just kind of a regular 4, like the one my watch has now. All right, so also you can tell if that's tritium in the pip with a black light, so that should be pretty easy, and this looks to be original. No problem. All right, moving on to the GMT 16710. This is a Coke, and again, another beautiful piece. Unpolished, he says. And looking at the insert, I'm not as decisive, okay, yet, all right? But typically a 1996, those early kind of pre-2000, around 2000 inserts on the GMT Master 2 had the serifed font, all right? And I'm not seeing serifs here. So that's one thing that is sort of puzzling. Does it mean it's not original? Not really. I mean, this is just something I've sort of put together by looking at a lot of examples, but could a sans serif insert have wound up on a 16710? I think it's entirely possible, okay? Now, the good news is that it's an authentic insert. 100% it's real. Well, I don't want to say 100%, but it looks real to me in the sense that, look at the 22, the bottom, the base of those 2s hug the curvature of the bezel. Also, looking at the 4, there's sort of a Rolex characteristic of the 4s, the 6s, and the 8s, and everything checks off. Usually, aftermarket bezel inserts, they get something wrong. Nothing's wrong here. All right, now looking at the red, it looks more like a crimson red, all right? And so I've noticed that the service inserts, especially these days, if you get them, it's more of a crimson than a red, all right? Now, nobody likes a wishy-washy person, and if somebody off camera were holding a gun to my head and they said, we need an answer, all right? We need some decisiveness, thank you. That's what we paid our money for. So is it original or was it put on the watch later? We need an answer or we're pulling the trigger. Okay, all right, all right. If I had to bet, all right, if I had to bet money, I would say that this was put on the watch later. Why do I say that? Well, it's a 1996 watch. It's over 20 years old, and this is a really minty insert. So if this was a safe queen, that would make sense. Also, the color, the crimson color. So I'm not really sure how the red ages, but I'm pretty sure that a crimson aluminum insert after 20 years is gonna be faded. There are gonna be marks on it. And I'm not even sure it's gonna be crimson anymore. And sort of this is a side note. I think the color recipe for the current service inserts and the inserts back 20 years ago, I think it's different. I think it's changed. And maybe the service inserts don't fade as much as the ones in the past, but I think the trade-off is it's a different color, it's that crimson color. And again, this has the crimson color, which I think marks it as a later insert. Again, I'm talking a real authentic Rolex insert, but not the one the watch was born with. And you could always take this to RSC and see if it was born a Coke, all right? So you could do that. But looking at the lack of serifs and looking at the newness, considering the age of the watch, over 20 years old, and looking at the crimson color of that red, again, if I had to bet, I would say it's not original to the watch. But again, it is a Rolex insert. Am I 100% sure? Absolutely not. But again, if I had to bet, that's what I would say. And this might have been a safe queen. And look, if the watch is unpolished and it's been used and there are dings on the watch, but the insert is minty, all right, that pretty much gives you your answer right there that it was replaced after the fact. Now, I don't want to sit here and sow seeds of doubt for no reason, but we have to address this because I think it's worth talking about when it comes to pre-owned pieces. He was obviously in the market for an unpolished piece. Now, here's the thing. Polishes can occur once or twice and nobody will be the wiser, all right? And again, I don't want to cast doubt where there may be none, all right? That's why you want to go with trustworthy sellers. But if you were to take a lightly used watch with hairline scratches and either take it to RSC or a competent polisher and have it polished and then the insert changed out, you could sell it as an unpolished piece. Totally unethical, but it could happen, all right? And so my only point in saying this is that we're assuming it is indeed unpolished. And so if you're looking at the case and you say, well, the case is minty and the insert is minty, well, the case might have had one polish. And I'm not trying to rain on your parade. That's the reality of things, okay? It's the reality of the pre-owned market, all right? Rolex can give you more answers about what kind of insert it was born with, and also if it's had a service and a polish, all right? So that might be something I would address. Now, one of the best things about custom videos is people get to weigh in. And so viewer, what do you think about this insert? Do you agree with me that, well, first of all, it's authentic? I'm gonna say 100%, but if you had to choose, do you think this looks like a service insert, okay? Or a sort of an after the fact Rolex part? I think so, but again, I only have a few clues to work on and assumptions come into place. That is, serifs were the norm on 16710s at that time, that this wasn't a safe queen, that the bezel has not a lot of wear, and it should, being a 20-year-old watch. And so assumptions come into play, but viewer, let Mark know what you think. Great pieces, Mark, and thank you for your custom video request. Guys, weigh in, let Mark know what you think about his bezel inserts. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and I will see you in the next one. All right, some final thoughts. Now take a look at this insert. This is a service insert. It's a Coke. Take note of the crimson color of the red, but most notably take note of the thinness of the font, okay? The thinness of the numerals on the insert. Now, that's not the case with Mark's. Mark's has a thickness. While his insert numerals are lacking the serifs, they do have a thickness. So it's certainly not a modern service insert. It could be a service insert from years past when they were thicker. I looked at some T serials here in Japan, 16710s. Now this is, well, I don't know if I'd call it new old stock, probably not. Maybe, I don't know, I'll let you guys debate it, but clearly this is a new piece, and again, it's got the serifs on the numerals on the insert. Looking at some other T serials from 1996, you have this one. You can see very clearly the serifs and the aging on the insert. I wouldn't call this crimson, I would call this red, and you can see some wear on the bezel, you can see some fading, as you would expect for a 20-plus-year-old watch. Pretty certain that this is original. And then you have something like this, and it's got a fatness to the numerals like Mark's, but no serifs. Again, kind of a crimson color. It looks new. My guess is this would be a later replacement bezel insert. When I see serifs, I'm pretty sure that we're looking at an original insert, but it doesn't mean that non-serifed inserts couldn't have wound up originally on a watch. Anyway, just a few final thoughts. Let me know what you guys think.